Okay, let me
all the
here.
time
Why don't I
long.
ask this? Do you think sex workers are more promiscuous than the general population?
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of them do it out of necessity, or maybe again out of a financial bind. You know,
Do
So
some
maybe,
women?
like,
How come
do-
if they did it out of necessity, that would make them less promiscuous? Wouldn't that make them more promiscuous?
no,
like
maybe
aren't
they're
some
just broke.
women?
If you were
prostitutes
a
out of-
prostitute out of necessity,
Yeah.
how are you less promiscuous? That makes no sense.
Because you don't. I feel like if you're promiscuous, maybe it means like you enjoy it. You know.
What?
I don't know.
Promiscuous just means you take a lot of D.
I guess I don't know.
No, what do we? No. There's no guess,
Yeah.
right? What the hell does promiscuous mean if not sex with lots of people? What else could that possibly mean to make
I think
it make
means
sense?
like it's like a mentality. It's like willing sex with a lot of people, and when it's like more out of
Yes,
necessity.
willing sex with a lot of people. I
Yeah.
agree.
But
Yeah.
I think one's just more.
So if you're a prostitute,
necessity-based.
you're having willing sex, yes.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
think like again, it's kind of out of necessity too, because
So?
you wouldn't be doing that if you were financially.
Well,
stable.
first of all, when you say necessary, right? What the hell does that mean?
To make money
Because
that you
there's
need.
lots of men who necessarily work 3 jobs and don't have the luxury of prostituting themselves.
they could if they wanted.
No, to who? Other men?
I mean, there's websites probably.
Yeah,
for-
no, they're
there's
not going to
market
make.
for
Do you
everything.
think that male prostitutes, on average, are going to make as much as female prostitutes?
Some do.
It depends on the male. Yeah.
Okay,
Honestly.
okay. What did I say? On average?
Yeah, on average, no.
No, of course not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally ridiculous. So they don't. When you say necessary, how come when poor men are broke, that suddenly they can somehow find jobs to get by, which aren't opening their legs to random
Because they know they
strangers?
wouldn't make as much, right?
Right.
But
So
women
it's not
know, like-
necessary then. It's
Yeah.
not necessary.
But I guess they also don't have the ability because they know they wouldn't make as much. But
Yeah,
women
but
know, hey, I can
then
make a lot
then
doing
it's not
this quick.
necessary. Necessary means must, right?
Well, it's necessary for them to make money, and they know they could do it
They
fast by
can
that
no, it's
means.
not necessary for them to make money.
Well, to live.
If you have a dead.
No, it's not necessary for them to live.
At
You're
that
saying
time.
I make more money. That's want, not necessary.
Well, I'm saying faster as well. Like it is like quick money.
then
you know?
still not necessary. Necessary, I think, means must. Right?
So it's not necessary to make money ever, or just have.
No, I didn't say it's
sort
not
of-
necessary to make money. I just said that there's alternative means of making money other than prostitution that may make you less, but that doesn't mean that it's necessary that you make as much as you make as a prostitute
Yeah,
to live.
I think they just think that it would be faster.
I think that I agree that it would be faster,
Mm-hmm.
but how is that not willingly having more sexual partners?
Well, it is willingly having more partners, but it's for a bigger purpose. I guess.
That's promiscuity. Promiscuity is your willingness to have lots of sexual partners.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know how it could. What else could it be?
No, I'm not like disagreeing with you. I hear what you're saying for sure.
I really don't understand though what you're saying. I don't really know
She's saying-
how it could
I
be
think-
anything other than willingly having lots of sex. That's
I
promiscuity.
think. Well, I think you're just saying OF and strippers, right? You're not talking about prostitution.
Well, in OF, boy girl content, very common. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
prostitution
also, I would say that, so I would say this as well, that if you were a woman who was talking to multiple people, flirting with them, right, things like this, that men would consider that to also be cheating.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I
So-
think it goes both ways for sure.
So even if we were to take this like very kind of charitable idea of promiscuity, which is, well, it doesn't require sex, it's like, okay, I can even concede that. And I still think they would be more promiscuous, right?
Do you think there's a gender that cheats more generally, like men or women?
I think women cheat more.
Really.
I do.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Because I think that the availability is there far more for them than it is men. I think that men get caught more
Why is that? Why do men get caught more? Just-
because I think that they kind of don't understand subtle manipulation as well as women do. For women,
Practicing gentleman donated $100. For the panel, does fisting count as cheating? How many knuckles deep can you go before it's cheating? Also, Pink Floyd, Hootie and the Blowfish, Demon Hunter, Red, Santana, Wax Taylor, and Yes Creed.
all right, hang on. Okay,
Said, "And yes,
so
Creed."
very quickly, guys, so we can get back to the conversation. Show of hands, does fisting count as cheating?
Yes.
Show of hands. It doesn't? Wait, what? She was the one dissenter? Okay. Yes, so it does indeed. Okay, and
I would just laugh, though. Like,
is there any?
serious.
It doesn't require more than one knuckle.
One knuckle is still
One knuckle.
cheating.
Is one knuckle cheating?
Yeah.
Show of hands if one knuckle's cheating.
The thoughts will
Okay, all right. So one knuckle's cheating. Fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, back to this. I think on the idea that men get caught. So I think that we're just talking about basic power dynamics. When it comes back to power theory, I think that men are very used to being able to utilize force, and women are not. So men always can kind of rely on going back to force. So because women don't do this, they understand kind of subtle manipulation better, generally, I think, than men do. I'm not
So
saying
it's like adaptive a little bit just because they can't. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, a woman can't at any time they want physically dominate a male. Men can do this for most women, and they can also do this to other men. So because that's true, they always have that to rely on, right? Where it's like, oh, it doesn't have to make sense because I'm going to punch you in the mouth, right? So women don't have that. They can use emotional control, manipulation, things like this. So I think that they're much more clever when it comes to hiding their tracks or carrying on affairs than men generally are.
Interesting.
So now the stats would actually disagree with me. The stats would say that men cheat more. But how do you get the stats? Well, you get the stats by the admittance of people saying that they cheat or don't cheat, and people who are really good at cheating would never admit it. And so I think that women, they don't admit it because they're better at cheating, but that's my take on it. So, yeah.
Most of my clients, males who come into me, I would say probably 8 out of 10. The reason for their divorce is because wife cheated on them. So it is.
Well, think about it like this. Think of it like a superpower that women have, and they have it especially when they're younger and when they're in their 20s, right? So you can imagine from the male perspective, if they kind of analyze this and they're like, you can just get whatever the fuck you want because you're pretty. Yeah, I really can, right? Well, that's an amazing superpower. And that's why you see as that fades when women get older, they become more and more delusional. They're like, wait a second, I must do everything to maintain this superpower. That's where you get the fake boobs, the tummy tucks, everything to create the appearance of youthfulness and attractiveness, because that keeps this kind of superpower going for longer. Men never have it. They never have the superpower. So if I were to reverse it, and I thought to myself, well, what would happen if when you're in your early 20s, every woman just would be willing to sleep with you, basically, right? Well, I think that would corrupt men really badly. You know what I mean?
I think it kind of has in society, because it kind of has happened.
It hasn't
really
happened.
easily. Well, in college,
it hasn't happened in college. Most men, so women.
There are a lot of men though, who can get it very easily.
I'll prove it to you, right? The easiest way possible. So let's assume it was young picture Andrew and you, okay? And we both went on the sign of right on the street of Santa Barbara right now. Both of us held a sign. I held a sign that said, I'm willing to sleep with any woman right now. And you held up a sign saying, I'm willing to sleep with any man right this second. Who's getting picked up first?
Okay, I mean, probably me, but if we both...
Why? Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Really? But why?
Because I feel like women would see you with a sign and be like, ew. But...
Exactly.
But if we both went to a frat party, I bet you would easily go home with a girl that night. And
Easier than you?
Yeah, probably.
Why?
I feel like it would be very easy. I don't know. I mean,
you feel like
if you wanted to, I.
So if you walked into a frat party and you said gangbang upstairs, and I'm the meat between the sandwich, you're not going upstairs or what?
Okay, fine. I guess if we both were trying to. Yeah.
So that's what I mean, though, is that the corruptibility.
But I feel like this is the thing: is like men will go to the frat parties wanting to get laid, and women might, be like, oh, we'll see who I'll meet, but it's not. But they're not necessarily like, well, some are.
I agree. I'm just talking about the potential of could.
Yeah, could.
I'm just talking about the potential of could.
Yeah.
So
then I agree with you.
Could every woman here sleep with any given man easier than I can sleep with any given woman?
Yes.
Yes. And since the answer to that is yes, I view this as like a female superpower because essentially you can get whatever the fuck you want based on this. And the younger and more attractive you are, the more you can employ this superpower, right? Do I think that that's very corruptible? I do. Because I think, what if men could do this and women would be willing to do this? I think it would corrupt the shit out of men too. So I just think of it in those terms, right?
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, moving the conversation on, I have a couple of questions. The first question is, do you think, and we'll go one by one, that a man or a woman would be more likely to lie to you? Starting with you.
Just to me or as a whole? Like,
As a whole, a random man, random woman, which one do you think would be more likely to lie
I mean,
to you?
I'm biased, but I'm going to say a man, honestly.
What's that? Yeah, get right up on the mic.
I'm biased, but I'm going to say a man, just
man.
because that's what I have the most experience with.
Okay.
A woman for sure.
A woman's the most likely to lie to you?
Absolutely.
A woman.
Woman,
Woman.
woman,
A woman.
woman,
Woman.
woman,
Woman.
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 Okay.
Damn.
Now,
Rachel _A_bad_waifu donated $100.06. I sent a Donor Labs message to the Crucible and your wife is asleep at the wheel. Get your blanket back. R.I.P. Dillahunty. R.I.P. Watson. R.I.P. Materialism.
she stole my blanket, fucking brat. But anyway, she did. I had a fan. He sent me this custom knitted wool blanket that his wife made. And he was like, he sent it up with a few other things, like a couple of fists of vodka, and just because he likes to watch my show. And she did. She took it. She stole it. The brat. The first thing she did, she was like, "Oh my God, this is so con." She took off with it.
Must have been her pretty privilege.
Yeah. Never did. And the thing is she's like, "Well, you just use it whenever you want." I'm like, "But it's mine. I'm supposed to be. What the fuck is it?" But anyway, back to this. Now that we have all the answers, I have to ask this question: man versus bear. Okay. Would you rather be stuck in the forest with a random bear or a random man?
Random man, for sure.
Random man.
Yeah.
The bear.
The bear.
We don't know what kind of bear.
We don't know what kind of bear. We don't know what kind of man.
That part.
Random and random.
I mean, if it's just random, probably man.
Okay. If it was a black bear?
If it was a black bear, I would choose the black bear.
Okay.
Man.
Man. Man.
Man.
Man.
Okay. So for you two, pick the bear.
No, I
No,
said
you picked the
man.
man. Wait, you picked the bear. You picked the bear.
The black bear.
Okay. Now I
Do
just
I get to pick the black man
Hang
or
on,
the black
hang on,
bear?
hang on.
Because I'm going with the black
Okay, I
man.
get it. But also both. Hang on, both of you selected that a woman would be more likely to lie to you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm a man. That answer is fucking stupid. Do you believe me?
No.
No. No. Of course not. Of course not. All right. So on the bear question, why did you pick the bear?
From personal experience. So I'd rather. I'm more. Well, for me, I'm an
Oh
animal.
my God! Don't do
Not
this.
the for me
You're not going to do the Shira
bullshit.
thing, are you? You're not
The
going to do
what?
you're not going to do the Shira thing where I've been out with the bears and I've seen hundreds of bears and they've always left me alone. You're not going to
No,
do that.
I'd rather
are you?
snuggle a fucking bear than snuggle a man. A man is more dangerous than a bear.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Let's put this to the test. If you were walking down a random street in the United States, just a random one, you walked over to a random man and patted him on the head, versus walking over to a random bear and patting it on its head, what do you think would happen if you patted a random man on the head versus a random bear?
Probably the same. They'll both turn around and grab the fuck out of you. Right, hey, I heard
Well, no,
someone say it's true back there. They'll both grab the fuck out of you.
I think the,
Jesus Christ.
I think the bear would turn around and eat your face, and I think that the man would go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
How do you know it's not the other way around?
That the bear would turn around and say, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing? And the man's going to turn around and eat your face.
Yeah, I don't think the bear's gonna say anything because it's a fucking bear. But okay, so over to you.
Okay, so, well, I mean, I will say if it's just a totally random man, it probably would be fine. But, like, just given this whole, like, man-bear controversy, like, when I'm thinking about being in the middle of the woods, I'm thinking of, like, a Stephen Avery type of man with a gun and a knife. And, like, I would rather be
Wouldn't
alone
you rather
in the woods.
be in the woods with a random guy with a gun and a knife?
No, personally, I mean, black bear, as long as you just diverge, like, they usually don't bother you. Whereas, like, now I don't know.
They kill people all the time.
So do
I mean, I know many people who have been in the woods with black bear and have lived to tell the tale.
You hear your answer
But-
there? You're like, so do men, right? Well, that's true, right? It's not actually very common for men to kill women, by the way. It's not even the top 15 deaths for women. Women are more likely to die from random accidents than they are to die from men. Did you know that? But that aside, by the way, that stat came directly from Rollo Tomasi. Thanks for that, Rollo. But yeah, not even in the top 15. Not even the top 15 women are more likely to die from random accidents, literally random accidents, than they are to die from a man. What do you think your chances are, though, of being in a confined space with a bear, like the bear not attacking you?
I feel like that's a different question, though.
No, I
'Cause
don't
if
think-
it was a confined space,
Yeah.
I would choose the man.
same.
But in the woods, you could just walk away and like not bother the bear, and the bear probably wouldn't bother you.
Couldn't you walk away from the man?
Well, this is the thing: is I feel like there is a chance that you could become the prey of the man if you're
Versus
just
a
alone.
bear?
I mean, a man alone in the woods.
Like
like
a
is
bear
there
just
no one
spawns
else?
in the woods, he's not going to be really pissed off, and you're on his radar?
I mean, I genuinely do know a lot of people who have gone in the woods hiking, whatever, hunting, have come across bear, and
I know way more people who've gone into the woods and come across random men
that's fair.
and have had no problems whatsoever.
That is
but
a
I've
fair
met
point.
many people who've
But
come across random bears,
when
and they
you're a
go,
woman-
holy fuck, I was terrified.
you're-
This thing was going to eat my face.
When you're a woman, though, alone in the woods, you're scared of both. I will say that.
I think
But,
a bear goes
I
about
mean,
his business, but the man's like, I'm gonna find this
that. I
woman
think
and
that's what
get her.
that's what like the psychology of a woman, at least. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna find this woman and rape her. And okay,
Yeah, don't say that.
I mean, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Essay.
But that's
That'd be
like
the
just
word.
that's just the worry that comes across a woman's mind, whether it's true or not.
No,
But
I
that's how-
understand. Listen, so here's the olive branch. I understand that this is a worry that a woman would have because of the power dynamic difference. A man can overpower her. But this question is asking really like, wait a second, but a bear really can overpower you much quicker than a man could, right? Bear's a wild animal. You have no predictive, kind of model of what you could even do against a bear. Most random men who spawn in a forest with you, do you think that they would actually attack you for just no reason?
I mean, most random men, no.
Most.
But, I mean,
What about most random bears?
like a black bear. I really don't think that. Like, why would
You
it
don't
want
think that
to-
most random black bears would attack you?
I mean, if you're like getting in its way or getting in front of it, like if it's got its cubs there or something, like maybe. But I think if it's just
Or you
minding
just come across it, they will just attack you for that.
if you're close enough. But I guess I'm
Even
like,
if you're far
picturing
away. Like, you can't predict wild animals. That's why they're wild animals, right?
Yeah. But I guess in the same scenario, how can I predict that like a man with weapons is not going to harm me?
Well, I would assume it's based on experience. You come across men every single day of your life,
Not
all the
alone
time.
in the woods, though.
But even if you were alone in the woods, do you really
Yeah.
think that just like random passerby men just can't wait to assault random women in the woods?
I mean, yeah, it sounds silly when you say it like that.
Well, because it
but-
is silly, right? Like the amount, first of all, the amount of men who do these types of things, very tiny percentage. You're talking 0.2%. The population does these things, and they could. Like, they could do it if they want. They don't, but they don't do it.
Do you know the stat on how many people black bear kill?
I mean, black bears, I think there was recently an attack. I don't know the exact percentage of bear kills, but what I would do is look at it as bear confrontation kill versus man confrontation kill. And then I would look at it this way. So you're going to have way more confrontation with men in your life than you are with bears. But how many confrontations can you have with bears versus men that you're going to walk away from alive?
Encounters?
Confrontations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've probably had confrontations with many men,
Yeah.
and you're quite alive.
Yes.
How many confrontations do you think you could have with a bear?
Yeah, I mean, the bear would obviously win.
Yeah.
but-
Well, and the bear's not going to give a shit. It's not going to listen to
No.
logic, reason. It's not going to listen to